Hello there, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, and today we talk about Superman or My Adventure Superman episode 4. Now, I already did this video. The only problem is the video I made did not have audio. One of my subscribers pointed that out, so I decided to take it down and remake this video. Of course, once again, I'd like to apologize, and let's continue. Now, this episode was surprising because there's so many things happening, so many left turns you just wasn't expecting. I think what all start is all about Jimmy, Lois, and Clark talking about the Flying Man or Superman. They attempted to figure out who this person is, but the only problem is all the leads are basically dead. They can't find anything. So Lois decided to kneel down to Jimmy because Jimmy is the conspiracy guy who loved UFOs and aliens. Decided to, why not? They go back a couple of years and look at a bunch of books to see anyone sort of talk about a flying person. But the only problem is Clark does see something in one of the books about him, specifically Smallville. He decided to rip that page and put it in his pocket to disappear it, so he can basically cover up of his basically moment of flying. But during this time, the chief sent all three of them to meet a head honcho of a Meso Corps. Now, this is sort of interesting because a Meso Corps, or just a Meso, is a Superman name. That's basically a villain that hates Superman because he sort of assumes how he turns to basically a robot is because of Superman. He blames everything on Superman, but yet is incompetent. That's his own fault. That's what makes Meso so interesting. On top of this, Meso is one of those villains that actually can kill Superman because he needs power source from kryptonite. And I'm sort of surprised they use a Meso this way, that he is now a COO of a company named Amazo. Yeah, it was sort of strange, but at the same time, they added another villain called Parasite that, besides becoming a creature, is more a kind of like a exosuit, almost like an Iron Man type of armor who will serve energy. Once again, it's sort of weird because this show decided to blend two different villains together, making sort of a new villain, sort of Tony Stark, who is not perfect. And that is sort of interesting because I wasn't expecting that to actually work. I like a Mazo and I like a Parasite. Decided to fuse them together, make him sort of like an Iron Man CEO failure. It's sort of weird. Oh, not a failure. He's sort of like a bro now, word CEO, that he's sort of panicking, everything sort of falling apart. But mystery enough, all the gang went to the company to talk about the CEO, his dating life, because this is the chance of the whole crew can prove themselves can be actual reporters. But Lois being Lois, she wanted to push the line. She wants to ask the tough question, grill them of all the horrible acts of a Mesa Corps has done to get information, and she is grilling everyone. Of course, Clark is there. He is the conscious of the group. Stops her and asks her why. Why you need to do this? Let's be safe. This is our chance. Do not blow it. Beloved, this is episode deep dive of Lois. Like, why she's like this. It's all about her father. No, she doesn't have daddy issues. She's always been sort of a daddy's girl in a way, but more like strong woman daddy's girl, that she wants her father approval. And that's the approach they took it. And I found it sort of interesting because she feels like a failure. She needs to push herself. She needs to be honest with herself. And that is sort of true Lois. Like, I really enjoy her. She tries so hard to be there. Like, she knows, she feels she's a failure. And that is sort of relatable because she's been there so long that she's not given a chance yet. This is her moment. Why not go in a bang in a way? But I love it how Clark trying to convince her, just chill, don't ruin it for the rest of us. And I love it that Clark is sort of a hypocrite in a way, but in not a bad way. He just wanted to talk to the CEO, just chill, ask very basic questions till he finally meets the CEO. He realized he's an asshole. Like, no, I will grill him. And he attempted to grill him, and they kick him out. But I love that moment when Lois come back to save Clark, saying like, "Yeah, you see, this is the reason why we had the grill, but you don't understand. You don't follow the cue cards we give you, so I'm not gonna let you in." But at the same time, I love how kind of sassy and playful with Clark and Lois are. That little moment, like sort of the little thing shades back and forth. But I love that they have their moment. That little moment that Clark's suit is ripped and she's trying to help her and trying to sew her. You have that sort of romantic flame, but yet, and you have that moment of understanding why Lois act this way, and also see how they actually really like each other. I mean, they actually kiss, like in the cheek, but it's sort of kind of playful, like this is the next step or sort of the relationship. But I love it that sort of push that so far because usually the relationship of the two main characters takes about 4 seasons. This one took about 4 episodes. Like, yes, please, I want this now. I want more of this. I want other anime series just push the make this relationship automatically because stretching for 4 seasons is sort of rough. But I enjoy this. But I love it. It's sort of a reason to do this because later on, the CEO went crazy and wears the parasite suit. But the suit is sort of kind of space tech that he doesn't know really what it is, and he still used it. He went mad. But the thing is, I don't understand, or at least not don't understand. They sort of played with it. Sort of maybe was his assistant messing with the CEO to use the suit? Do they program to dehumidate him? It's sort of something that could be possible because how the henchman like really doesn't like the CEO of Amazo, but we don't know because they sort of play with it like, yeah, he could be the main villain of this episode, but it's sort of we don't have time for you. I think better yet, Lois just punched him before the assistant can actually say anything. Like we don't have time for this. We have to punch you right now. Yeah, I just enjoy it, but at the same time, you have enough there to assume he was. But besides that, this is the moment that I love the most. This episode shows how each character in the team are important. Like Lois is the action gal, the woman who have to do things on the moment. She doesn't think about it. That's one of the biggest her weakness. But that's why you have Jimmy. Jimmy is that guy has so many things on his hands, but he doesn't know what to really do with it till Lois kicks in because you know she doesn't plan things, but Jimmy might have something. He's the guy who has everything but doesn't know how to use it. Yeah, I love that they sort of complement each other, like how Lois worked with Jimmy, Jimmy worked with Lois. Like they fix their sort of weak spot. Vice versa with Clark and Lois, or Clark with Jimmy does the same. It always keeps showing how each character need each other, how much they complement each other. It doesn't matter what the situation, it just works. Yeah, I love that because usually Superman movies, comics, or anime, they you really know how the writer understand the characters, how they use Lois and Jimmy. Because when they use Lois and Jimmy and they don't know what to do with them, they don't understand how important really are. They don't understand how useful they actually are. And I love it. This series understand us clearly. That each character are their own moment, and I just enjoy it. Especially how I enjoyed that the CEO got the axe kicked by Superman, but I love it that Superman doesn't need an excuse to be there because he's Clark, but he has like an opening, he just jumps in. It's just sort of interesting, especially the fight of the Maisel and Superman, or Parasite Superman. You can choose whatever name you want, but besides that, I really enjoy the fight, especially how they use Parasite's special ability to absorb, and how Superman doesn't really rely on his own power because people think, oh, Superman is really strong. Duh, but at the same time, Superman never uses his strength when necessary. He always holds back. He always chose the unviolent way to solve and answer only is necessary to actually use it. And I enjoy that they understand that completely. Now, I really enjoy what happens to the end. Like, there's definitely Amazo slash Parasites. Lois have feelings, kissing. To the very end, she find out something interesting because Clark gave her her suit because she was cold. Her clothes were ripped off, but Clark forgot he left a piece of paper. She looked at the piece of paper, looked at everything she has around her, and she saw the whole thing. She understood Clark is Superman. And I was sort of surprised because that took a little while to actually happen. It takes like a rom-com, it takes 2, 3 seasons to get there. But this one, the fourth episode, she realized. But at the same time, it's sort of like an old gimmick of Superman because you go like the comics, in fact, especially the old comics, the original first run, they have that sort of running gag that Lois trying to figure out who is Superman. He always this close. It does it like a running gag. I'm surprised they did that again here, but I don't know if that could be a running gag or not. But I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that sort of deep analysis of each character. He also hooked you even more to see what happened to the next episode because you don't know what will Lois do. She will actually report it or not, conform with Clark. I'm just sort of hyped to see what's happened next because now Lois has sort of a dilemma. She will actually talk to Clark or fall in love with the relationship or forget the relationship, do it for her career in that situation. So I'm just sort of interested in how they're gonna deal with it, or do the old Superman cliche that Clark sort of convince her he's not Superman, or does some kind of weird thing just to make it sort of a joke or a wink of the old comics. Honestly, I don't know, but I really am hyped to see how they gonna tackle it. Could be a joke, or they could stick to it, or be sort of a dilemma with Lois keeping the secret to the end of the season till she figures out what she do. Honestly, I don't know, but I am very hyped. Now, of course, I have that one question. How you feel about this episode? You like everybody has their moment. You like the relationship. You think it's going too fast, too slow? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.